What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Like I said in the last video, we got to replace the steering rack bushings on the 4Runner. They're getting pretty loose and sloppy, so we want to get that figured out. What I got is the kit from Energy Suspension. So this is a polyurethane bushing kit for the whole rack. So that's what we're doing today. I'll try to get the camera set up underneath and show you guys the slop in it. And you can see one of the bushings looks really swelled up. I don't know if it's from oil leaking on it or what, but it's all swelled up and gummy looking. So I'll show you what it's looking like, and then we'll get under there, see if we can get this rack off. We shouldn't have to pull the entire rack off, just unbolt it from the frame, and then hopefully we can swap out the bushings that way instead of pulling the whole tie rod and everything and disconnecting all the power steering lines. I don't want to do that. Hopefully we can leave the rack up in the car and swap the bushings that way. So you can see there, the rack is moving pretty good, so let's get these bushings swapped out. Alright guys, here's the rack. So we got a bolt here. There's one bolt here coming from the top, and then these two bolts here for this little strap deal that we got to pull out. And then where it connects up here to the steering shaft, there's two 12mm bolts. I'll probably pull that, disconnect that so we can drop it down. And then right back behind here is where the two lines come into the rack, and they are a rubber line, so we should have enough play room in there to get this thing to drop down. So here's the bushing I was telling you about, how it looks really gummy. It's super soft and it's just coated in oil, and I don't see any oil above it at all. I don't know, maybe it was a leak previously, but it is coated in oil and really gummy. So let's get this thing ripped out and see if we can leave this rack up in here and swap these bushings out. Alright guys, bushings are out. So this one I was able to just take a punch and punch it out. This one going straight up though, I wasn't able to punch out. It was too gushy and it really didn't move. So I just took a C-clamp with a big socket on the top of the rack and pushed it out that way, and it worked easy. And then that side obviously just comes right off. One thing I had to do was pull the diff drop out to get this bolt out. You can see the differential was too low and the bolt was hitting on it, so I had to pull that off. And then also, these are hard lines the whole way. I thought they were had a rubber section, but the whole line is hard up to up here. So there's a clamp right here on the frame and then a clamp farther up here on the frame. Once I unbolted these, I was able to get the rack all the way back and drop down enough to get those bushings out. So here's the old bushings. This one isn't too bad. It's just really, really soft. This one is completely shot. There's nothing left of it. And then I guess that one isn't too bad, but either way, here's the new bushings, and there's a sleeve like that goes in the inside of them. So we'll just put those in. This one's got the sleeve as well, and then this washer goes onto the cross member. You can see on the little manual right there, and then we got this little clamp that goes around the whole thing. So we'll get the bushings back in, and we should be able to bolt it up, no problem. All right, we got the rack back on. Everything's bolted in. One issue I was having was this bolt through the sleeve that they give you is extremely tight. I had to smash that thing through. And then also that washer, I had to drill out just a little bit just to get it to fit over the bolt. So Very, very tight, but we did get it in. So now let's get the diff bolted back up, get the skid plate on, and we can go drive it and see what it does. There we go, guys. You can see it cranking on the wheel. That rack is not moving at all. So let's go drive it, see how it drives. All right, guys, this thing drives so much better now. You can see just barely moving the steering wheel. It is responsive, it is nice and tight. No more play at all. And I haven't noticed it wandering at all. I'm gonna bring it out on the highway where there's some actual decent sized ruts in the road and see if it pulls. I know it'll probably pull a little bit just because of the wider tires on it. They always do pull in these ruts, but so far it seems so much better. All right, here we are on this highway. So we got some pretty decent ruts on here. Before these bushings, I was all over the road. Now I can just about let my hand off the steering wheel and it's driving straight. So much better than before. There it is, guys. This thing is driving so much better. It's crazy how much those bushings, just a little bit of play in those bushings makes. And those things are very cheap. They're like 25 or 30 bucks. I'll have that linked down below if you want to check it out. It took me about an hour to do. Would have went a lot faster if that bolt, that big bolt, would have fit like it should. Actually, the first time I put it in, I got it jammed on that washer because it was too small. I was hammering on, and that washer was stuck on the bolt, so I had to pound it back out and clearance the washer, figure out what was going on. So if we didn't have that issue, probably could have done it in 45 minutes or so. Very easy to do and makes a huge difference. Well, that's a wrap, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it. This is one of the last things we had to do to the 4Runner. I know in the future we're going to do more stuff to it, but right now I want to focus on getting everything else done that I need to so we can start the new project. So I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Go smash that thumbs up button, comment, subscribe. We'll see you in the next one.